Have you ever noticed how people reveal their true nature when they face adversity? A friend becomes a stranger, an admirer turns into a critic. Hard times strip away the masks, leaving only what is real. Not all advice is wisdom. Age does not guarantee intelligence, just as experience does not always lead to clarity. If you seek poor judgment, ask everyone for their opinion. If you want to see someone's true character, disagree with them. Your children will not follow your words. They will follow your example. The easiest way to let go of someone is not to erase them, but to stop giving them space in your mind. Small disciplines lead to great freedoms. If you can master the little rules, you can break the big ones with purpose. Be wary when your enemy praises you. Not all compliments come from goodwill. The purpose of life is not to chase happiness, but to cultivate it from within. A fulfilled life is built in the present, not in the uncertain future. And if you believe in the righteousness of your values, let your actions, not just your words, be the proof. Remember, the best revenge against those who wish you harm is not anger, it is indifference and joy. Today, we uncover the two types of people an intelligent person silently walks away from. Pay close attention. Recognizing them could save you years of wasted energy. 1. Dangerous people. An intelligent person understands that the weight of one's life is not carried by fate alone, but by the hands that reach toward them, the company they choose to keep. More than circumstances, more than external trials, the people in your orbit shape the direction of your journey. They either sharpen your mind, strengthen your spirit, and push you toward wisdom, or they drag you into chaos, strip you of clarity, and bury you beneath burdens not your own. A wise soul does not cling to relationships that dim their light. Far better to walk alone in peace than to be entangled in the wreckage of those who thrive on conflict. Dangerous people do not announce themselves with flashing warnings. They do not arrive draped in shadows or speak with voices laced with menace. Instead, they come as friends, lovers, mentors, disguised by familiarity, cloaked in charm. Their presence feels warm at first, comforting even, but over time, something shifts. You find yourself more exhausted than uplifted. Doubts creep in where confidence once stood. Their words, once coated in admiration, begin to cut deeper, laced with subtle critiques and manipulation. At first, the damage is almost imperceptible, a single crack in the foundation of your peace. But left unchecked, it spreads until the very structure of your mind begins to crumble. Some of these people operate through deceit. They twist truth until it serves their will, painting illusions that make you question your own judgment. Others thrive on discord, never content unless the air is thick with tension, drawing you into battles that serve no purpose but their own amusement. And then there are those who do not strike with violence, but with slow erosion, stealing your energy, your joy, and your sense of self until you look in the mirror and no longer recognize who you have become. These are the most insidious, for they do not break you with a single blow, but unravel you thread by thread. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." And what determines the quality of your thoughts more than the voices that surround you? If you spend your days entangled with deceit, surrounded by negativity, immersed in manipulation, then no amount of personal strength will save you from its effects. Consider the mind as a sacred garden. Every interaction plants a seed. Some grow into wisdom, others into thorns. Leave the wrong company unchecked, and soon your mind is overrun with weeds, suffocating every possibility of growth. The temptation, of course, is to hold on, to believe that you can change them, to convince yourself that they do not mean harm, that perhaps you are imagining the cracks in the foundation. We cling to relationships long past their worth out of guilt, out of history, out of hope that something salvageable remains. But Seneca reminds us, associate with those who will make you a better person, and welcome those whom you yourself can improve. To linger in the presence of those who corrode your peace is not loyalty, it is self-betrayal. Consider the great rulers, the philosophers, the minds that shaped history. Did they rise to wisdom by entangling themselves in meaningless disputes, by allowing deceitful men to whisper poison into their ears? Number. They chose their confidants with precision. They guarded their energy as one would guard a treasure, and, when necessary, they walked away without hesitation. The greatest power is not found in fighting every battle. It is in knowing which battles are beneath you. Some people will distort reality until you no longer trust your own instincts. They will twist your words, turn your kindness against you, and paint themselves as the victim when you finally step away. There are those who crave control, not through open force, but through subtle domination, making you doubt your choices, belittling your victories, keeping you just uncertain enough to remain within their grasp. And then there are the betrayers, the ones who claim loyalty until the moment it is inconvenient. They pledge their allegiance when it suits them, only to disappear when the winds shift. Trust is fragile. It takes years to build, moments to shatter, and often a lifetime to repair. But here is the wisdom of the Stoics. Confrontation is not necessary. A wise person does not waste energy seeking vengeance, proving themselves right, or changing the unchangeable. They do not rage against the storm. They simply step inside. There is no virtue in exhausting oneself for those who do not wish to understand. A lion does not lower itself to bark back at dogs. A river does not argue with the stones in its path. It simply flows around them. So too does the intelligent individual refuse to seek approval from those who were never meant to walk alongside them. They turn away, not in anger, not in hatred, but with quiet certainty. To some, this may seem harsh, but is it cruelty to protect your peace? Is it selfish to remove yourself from those who siphon your spirit, twist your emotions, or entangle you in their endless dramas? The world is filled with people who take, who demand your time, yet disregard its value, who expect your loyalty, yet offer none in return. The truly wise understand that time is life's most irreplaceable currency, too precious to be scattered among the undeserving. When you recognize such a presence in your life, the question is not if you should walk away, but how. The most powerful departure is not in words, not in grand declarations, not in emotional outbursts. It is in silence. Withdraw your engagement. Do not offer explanations, for explanations invite argument. Do not seek closure, for closure is a privilege, and not everyone deserves it. Erect boundaries like walls of stone, unyielding to guilt, unmoved by persuasion. Your well-being is justification enough. Let your absence speak what words cannot. There is a story of Diogenes, the philosopher who rejected the false glamour of power and prestige. When Alexander the Great, conqueror of nations, stood before him and offered wealth, recognition, anything he desired, Diogenes did not bow. He did not flatter. He did not argue. He merely asked the emperor to step aside as he was blocking the sunlight. Here was a man who understood true freedom, not in the ability to conquer, but in the ability to remain unaffected. Dangerous people, whether they wield power or manipulation, hold no sway over those who know the value of their own peace. Not every fight is worth engaging in. Not every betrayal deserves a response. Not every person earns a place in your life. To remove dangerous people is not an act of bitterness, it is an act of wisdom. They may plead, claiming you owe them your presence, your patience, your endurance. But you owe no one your energy if all they do is drain it. You owe no one your time if they do not respect it. And you owe no one your loyalty if they have not earned it. Epictetus, who rose from slavery to wisdom, taught us this: do not waste breath persuading those blind to your truth. Live your philosophy and let your life be the argument. The intelligent do not beg to be understood by those who refuse to see. They walk their path, knowing that the right people will walk beside them, not against them. And what a liberation it is! To sever the ties that weigh you down is to step into a life unburdened, a mind unshackled from the expectations of others, a spirit free to move toward its highest potential. Walking away is not weakness, it is power. It is the understanding that your time, your energy, your tranquility are treasures too precious to be wasted. Picture yourself standing atop a mountain, the air crisp, the horizon stretching before you. This is the freedom that awaits when you shed those who diminish you. The greatest minds in history did not squander their years reshaping the unyielding or seeking approval from the indifferent. They honed their purpose, nurtured their peace, and let the rest fall away. And so, when you encounter someone who deceives, manipulates, or drains you, do not hesitate, do not explain, do not argue. Simply walk away, not in anger, not in resentment, but in quiet, unshakable certainty. Second, wise people. An intelligent person does not merely stumble upon wisdom, they cradle it, nurture it, and wield it with precision. Wisdom is not a trophy to flaunt or a sermon to preach. It is a quiet force, a river etching its path through unyielding stone, not with violence, but with patience and intent. The truly wise do not exhaust themselves proving their worth to the world. Instead, they turn inward, refining their thoughts, tempering their actions, and mastering their responses to life's ceaseless churn. They understand that wisdom is not a gift to be squandered on deaf ears, but a flame to be guarded, offered only to those who seek its light. Too often, people cling to a flawed belief that wisdom must be shared indiscriminately, that truth must be shouted from rooftops, that knowledge must flood every conversation. Yet, this is a delusion born of vanity. Wisdom is not a torch to hurl into the dark for those too stubborn to see. It is a beacon, steady and unyielding, illuminating the way for those humble enough to follow. Some hunger for truth. Others crave only the comfort of their own convictions. To wrestle with the latter is to pour water into a vessel already brimming, futile and exhausting. As Epictetus, the Stoic sage, observed, no man can learn what he believes he already knows. When faced with a mind sealed shut by pride, the wise do not batter at its gates. They withdraw, not in defeat, but in discernment, preserving their energy for soil more fertile. Silence in this way becomes a fortress of strength. The world teems with those who mistake noise for brilliance, who chase victory in petty disputes, rather than the quiet pursuit of understanding. But an intelligent soul knows that truth does not bend to the clamor of voices. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, penned a timeless truth. The opinion of 10,000 is worthless if none grasp the matter at hand. A chorus of ignorance does not forge reality, nor does the din of argument crown its victor. The wise do not tether their peace to the approval of the crowd. They live their wisdom, not as a performance, but as a practice, a steady rhythm beneath the chaos. In life, you will cross paths with those who sap your spirit, not through malice alone, but through the sheer weight of their presence. These are the perennial complainers who shun change, the advice seekers who discard every word you offer, the questioners who probe not to learn, but to spar. They are leeches of time and vitality, giving nothing in return. A wise person reads these signs swiftly and acts decisively. They do not linger to justify their retreat or broadcast their exit. They simply fade from the scene, choosing serenity over the mire of fruitless entanglement. Consider the tale of Diogenes, the Cynic philosopher who roamed ancient Greece with a lantern in daylight, seeking an honest man. One day, a pompous scholar approached him, eager to debate the nature of virtue. Diogenes, unimpressed, sat silently, peeling an orange. The scholar prattled on, piling arguments upon arguments, until finally he demanded, "Why do you not respond? Have you no wisdom to share?" Diogenes looked up, offered a single slice of fruit, and said, "If you were hungry for truth, you'd taste it instead of talking it to death." Then he walked away. The scholar, stunned, was left with his words and his emptiness. Diogenes knew what many fail to grasp. Wisdom is wasted on those who prefer the sound of their own voice to the substance of another's insight. The intelligent do not squander their breath on such souls. They reserve it for those who approach with open hands, not clenched fists. This is the heart of true wisdom, not in bending others to your will, but in commanding your own. The wise do not look to the world to deliver their joy, nor do they hang their peace on the whims of circumstance. They forge tranquility within, brick by brick. Thought Pathotai. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You hold dominion over your mind, not the storms beyond your walls." Grasp this, and strength will follow. The intelligent do not chase the fleeting, praise, applause, or shallow delights. They find richness in what they can release, the need for validation, the weight of resentment, the illusion of control over others. To live without these is to live free. Yet wisdom extends beyond silence and self-mastery. It lies also in the art of selection, knowing who to embrace and who to let drift away. Some, when shown the mirror of truth, turn their gaze aside, not from blindness, but from dread. To see would demand they shed their comfortable delusions, and so they cling to shadows instead. The wise do not labor to repaint such souls or conjure excuses for their flaws. They do not cling to the hope of change when the evidence whispers permanence. Acceptance becomes their shield. They see people as they are, not as they might wish them to be. And with that clarity, they move forward, quietly, resolutely, leaving behind those who refuse to rise. There is a saying, "The first to apologize shows courage. The first to forgive reveals strength, and the first to forget finds joy." But an intelligent person knows a deeper truth. Forgiveness does not mandate closeness. They release grudges, for to carry them is to drag chains through the dust. Yet they do not linger near those who trample their values time and again. A mistake that humbles you outshines a triumph that inflates you, but a soul that repeats its errors without learning is a cycle best broken. The wise forgive, yes, but they do not forget the lessons carved by others' actions. Kindness, too, must be wielded with care. The line between compassion and folly is thin, and the wise tread it with eyes wide open. They extend a hand to those who seek to climb, but they do not cast pearls before those who would trample them. Seneca, the Stoic statesman, counseled, "Walk with those who lift you higher, and lift those you can in turn." There is no virtue in enduring the weight of manipulators who twist generosity into a weapon. The intelligent pour their kindness into vessels that hold it well, those who grow, who give, who honor the exchange. To do otherwise is not nobility, it is naivety dressed as virtue. Words, like arrows, fly only once. A wise person knows their power and releases them sparingly. In an age where tongues wag for the sake of sound, silence emerges as a rare and potent ally. It is said that a quiet smile can answer more than 1,000 arguments, a truth rooted not in cowardice, but in mastery. To stand unmoved by every taunt or barb is to wield a strength few possess. The intelligent do not dance to the tune of every provocation. They choose their steps, knowing that peace lies not in reaction, but in restraint. Time, peace, and energy, these are the treasures of the wise, guarded fiercely and spent with purpose. They pick their battles not out of fear, but out of clarity, recognizing that not every hill is worth the climb. They weigh their words, their forgiveness, their farewells, shaping their world with intention. They surround themselves with those who sharpen their minds and stir their souls, companions who challenge, inspire, and reflect the best of what they strive to be. To walk away from the rest is not disdain, it is discipline. This act of departure carries no fanfare. The wise do not storm off in rage or pen manifestos of their discontent. They slip away like dusk into night, effortless, inevitable, and absolute. Their silence speaks louder than any tirade ever could. Some may call it cold, even cruel, to sever ties without a word. But is it selfish to shield your serenity? Is it harsh to step back from those who siphon your spirit, twist your goodwill, or drag you into their tempest? The most awakened minds know that time is life's truest coin, and they spend it only on what enriches them. Picture a weary traveler crossing a desert, his water skin nearly dry. Along the way he meets two men. The first begs for a sip, then another, then demands the skin itself, offering nothing but complaints about the heat. The second, parched but resolute, asks only for a single drop, then shares a tale of a hidden spring ahead. The traveler gives to the second, not the first, and presses on. Why? Because wisdom lies in knowing where your gifts bear fruit. So it is with people. The intelligent do not pour themselves into bottomless pits. They seek the springs, those rare souls who repay kindness with growth, who meet effort with effort. When you encounter someone who spurns progress, who mocks your boundaries, who thrives on discord or deception, do not falter, do not plead, do not fight to be heard. Turn away, not with bitterness, not with a heavy heart, but with the calm assurance of one who knows their worth. The greatest power is not in winning every clash, but in discerning which clashes matter at all. An intelligent person cuts off two types, those who refuse to grow and those who refuse to let others rise. They do so not with a blade, but with a step, quiet, firm, and final. In the end, wisdom is not a crown to wear, but a compass to follow. It guides the intelligent through the noise, past the traps of ego and exhaustion, toward a life of purpose and peace. They do not need to announce their departure from the unworthy. Their path, clear and unwavering, says it all. Mastering the art of letting go. The past is a place of lessons, not a home to live in. If you hold on to what is gone, you allow it to control your future. Regret, guilt, and nostalgia are heavy weights to carry, and the longer you hold them, the slower you move. The wisest people understand this. They do not dwell on what was, they focus on what can be. Life is always moving forward, and so must you. Live for what today has to offer. not for what yesterday has taken away. Difficulties are not punishments. They are tests. The strongest souls are those who have walked through fire, not those who have avoided it. Hardships shape you, refine you, and reveal what you are truly capable of. Complaining about challenges does not remove them, only action does. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The obstacles you face are not there to stop you. They are there to show you who you really are. Anger is a wildfire. It burns everything in its path, including the one who holds it. It makes the mouth work faster than the mind, leading to words that cut deeper than any blade. But an intelligent person knows that anger is a choice. They do not allow emotions to dictate their actions. Instead, they master their reactions, understanding that calmness is a form of power. In a world full of noise, the ability to remain silent is a rare and valuable strength. People are rarely jealous of you. They are jealous of your success, your peace, and your ability to move forward while they remain stuck. But jealousy is a reflection, not a reality. It reveals more about the person feeling it than the one it is directed at. Do not waste your time worrying about those who envy you. Instead, focus on yourself. Keep growing, keep building, keep moving forward. The best way to silence jealousy is to live so fully that their opinions no longer matter. A sign of true intelligence is knowing how little you actually know. The more you grow, the more you realize that wisdom is not about having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions. It's about knowing when to walk away, when to stand firm, and when to let go. It's about choosing peace over conflict, clarity over chaos, and progress over stagnation. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Drop a comment with just 3 words. Let them go. Let this be a reminder that sometimes the most powerful act of intelligence is the quiet decision to walk away. Thank you for watching. Every choice you make shapes your future. Choose wisely, live intentionally, and remember, true strength lies not in fighting every battle, but in knowing which battles are not worth fighting at all. See you in the next video, where we'll dive even deeper into mastering life with wisdom and clarity. Stay strong, stay focused, and keep moving forward.